Testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, 1, 2, 3.
Hello, Adjust the Mic family. This is Charlie.
And Scott.
Hey, just because we act like children, it doesn't mean that children should be listening.
F words and B words, C words, we say them all.
Oh my. Everything we say, we don't know what we're talking about, and we're clueless.
Chris knows a lot.
I mean, of science. Yeah, and thank you for downloading and subscribing to the Adjust the Mic podcast.
Why are you calling my girlfriend in the middle of the night?
I don't call no girls in the middle of the night. You got the wrong number.
Boy, you tell me who you are.
So, are you just going to ask me questions and I can answer it and then we'll go from there? And you can edit out anything that makes me look stupid, or if I say something really messed up that needs to be gone.
You like the Foo Fighters?
No.
Okay, episode 136 of Adjust the Mic, if this is recording.
Yeah.
Here we go. To my left, the host with the most, and so much better than Scott, is Brent. Hi, Brent.
Hey, Charlie.
Hey, buddy. To my right is the craft beer queen. A CrossFit queen? The craft beer queen. Miss Colleen.
Let's stick with the craft beer until I go to CrossFit more.
Hello, Colleen. How are you?
Hi, good.
And joining us is Richard. Hi, Richard.
Hey.
I don't want to put your last name on there because I don't know what you got going on. We'll just leave it at that.
I'm not hiding from anybody, so it's fine. Richard Huron, yeah. On.
Everybody knows Richard.
Oh, good.
He's like the most famous guy in Titusville.
Yeah, that's how I was talking about his social media presence.
That's
now.
it. Everybody
Pretty
knows
sharp.
just from social media who he is.
The most famous guy in Titusville? That's like saying you're the best smelling turd.
Oh, my God. Come on.
Oh, man. So I don't even know if we're recording this episode, but I would like to start off this episode by saying if we are, Brent is so much better than Scott. Like, it's so...
It took like 2 seconds for him to set this
He's
up.
so good. How do you do it, Brent? Grab the mic. Don't be scared.
I really don't know. I think it's more just skill.
Yeah. Well, you're better than Scott.
Well, this is our first episode without Scott here because he's at a graduation.
He is.
So we
And
just
where?
had
Like
to
fucking
wing it.
Umatilla or
I don't
something?
know. He said a weird city. I'm like, I'm not going to even ask him where that is because I don't know.
I didn't even think they had graduations.
It's
up
Armadillo.
there. Armadillo.
I mean,
Armadillo, Texas.
Armadillo.
Arcadia.
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 That's
Dang, that's the
I don't know.
prison capital. That's where all the prisons are. So what's up? What's
And
going
no
on?
Chris either.
What do you want to talk about?
it. Let's talk about social media and
Why?
Richard and how
Yeah.
all the bands.
Oh, God. It's not good.
Okay, let me tell you what the most favorite thing that you ever did, and I know you know where I'm going with this.
Oh.
The Truth About Titusville site is a local Facebook group here that's got like, 40,000 something people in it.
Yeah.
And 20,000 of them are Karens.
And,
It's true.
and all they do is like, it's actually got a little bit better, but they just like talk crap. Like somebody will post something, they'll ask a simple question, and nobody will ever give them a right answer. They'll be like, oh, it's gonna be what was the burger place that was over here?
Qualms.
Oh, Qualms is moving in. Oh, a Wawa's going here.
Yep.
Bullshit.
Another Dollar General?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So every month they do a cover photo contest, and you can submit a
Yeah,
cover
I've
photo.
submitted ours.
Every single time. It's always the sunset, the bridge, the VAB. Like,
Yep.
it's the same ones always. So, Richard, what'd you post?
On my UPS, I'm a UPS driver. On my route, I saw there was like a full-on like industrial-sized printer sitting on the side of the road, like on the sidewalk, and it'd been there for days. And I was like, man, that's so out of place because it was kind of in the hood. And so I took like a really artsy picture of it and then submitted it, and it literally got a couple thousand votes.
It was definitely the highest
So it
voted
won.
one. So yeah, it won, but the admin of the page would not allow it.
No,
Not even for like an hour.
She sent me a private message. She's like, I don't know what you're trying to pull here.
Was she
This
rude?
is not
Was
funny.
She was that.
Yeah, she's
Karen.
like, this is not a joke. And I'm like, you're seriously taking this photo contest that serious?
Oh, yeah.
And
And then didn't you say something like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know we were only allowed to post sunsets, beach,
Right.
and launches."
Yep. And got rebuked for that. So it's fine.
Did
Like,
she kick you out the group?
surprisingly, no.
Okay.
But
Well,
everybody
that's
was
good.
complaining they wanted, and then
And then
the
Rachel,
next month
didn't
they
she-
wrote in the thing, no joke photos,
Yeah.
and they will be culled by the admin group. So
Who
yeah.
who says it's a like
Yeah,
who
but-
is on the joke board?
I don't know. Apparently them.
photos.
The ones with all the sense of humor.
Oh, these are the same people that came in here one day and sat at the end of the bar. There's like 4 of them.
Yeah.
And they told Kyle, "Do you know who we are? We're the admins of the Truth
Oh,
About
no.
Titusville page."
They did
Are
that
you
to
serious?
me.
Yeah.
They did that to me too.
Yeah.
They
But
sound great.
they're not there anymore. Those ones are gone.
Right.
But yeah, didn't Rachel White post it on the Real Truth About Titusville? She made her own page because she got banned because that page they ban people like it's
I
nothing.
think I'm in that one too.
So didn't she make that their cover photo? She's
Yep.
like, your photo's welcome here.
Oh, that's
then-
pretty great.
Rachel Holberg made it on the Talk of Titusville,
Oh,
which
yeah.
there's 500. It's the smallest town on earth, but it has 500 different Facebook pages.
Is that the page that doesn't
Yeah.
have an admin now? People just post
Yes.
crazy shit constantly and nobody can do
Oh, I
anything
need
about
a link
it.
to that. I'm not in that one.
You're not missing much.
Oh, I thought
If
it
you
was
need
like
your
the
air
Wild
ducts
Wild West.
clean, you can
Oh,
find
yeah,
somebody there real
that's
quick
true.
every
Clean
2
air ducts.
seconds. They're
Some
like,
sketchy business.
and those items for sale. It's like, come to the garage sale in Orlando, $200 for this. It's
Never
like,
post an address.
oh my God.
Yeah. See, I try to because I'm doing the whole selling, buying houses in a week and insanity. And I'm trying to get all this information at different contractors, fencing contractors and everything, and doing the loan of the house. Do you know all the spam emails I've been getting? Like, they've been wanting to steal all my shit. Like, I just got one, a Best Buy Geek Squad. Your card has been charged $339 by Best Buy, blah, 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 blah. And it's got the Best Buy logo. Listen, I love my dad. It'd have got him. It would have got him.
Oh, man.
Like, it would have got my dad. So I just, figured out, looked at the email and everything, saw what backlog where it came from and figured it out.
It's
But
like Best Buy with 2 Ys. At the end.
Yeah.
You're like, that's odd. Why
But-
would they mess that up?
100% would have got my mom and dad. But I really think it's because of the loan information and I'm putting all my shit out there. I don't know if that's a thing or not.
No, I get them at work too.
Do you?
Yeah. And well, my email just changed a couple months ago, and it seems I've gotten a lot more since then.
Yeah, I got it.
They buy and sell all the email addresses they have on file.
Sure.
It's funny, my work email, I'll get an email from like Ron, but the way it is, it's like, I would like for you to blah, blah, blah. Like, it's like something really weird and kind of proper. And I'm like, this is not from Ron.
Definitely
okay,
his
like,
wife.
you would never say that. Thank you, Mrs. Colleen Comerford. I'm like, what?
And he would never say thank you.
No, exactly. I mean, jeez.
Yeah, so.
Yeah,
So-
social media is tricky. I've been on Twitter since
Oh, you're a Twitter?
2010. I love Twitter.
You're on Twitter.
It's my
Do you
favorite.
tweet?
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
yeah.
See, I've never.
It's,
Call you
it's
right now.
all English football nonsense. Like, I'm a big
Okay.
soccer fan
Okay.
over in the UK, and like soccer all over the world. So it's mainly about that. Me complaining about referees. Very, very boring.
Okay.
To honestly,
But it's your-
99%
it's a
of the
niche.
population. Yes.
Yeah.
But like, I've made tons of friends over there. So one thing that was interesting to us, my wife Heather and I were in St. Augustine once, and we sat next to this father and son watching a Manchester United game.
Okay.
And he like looked at my Manchester United tattoo, and we struck up a conversation. And then that went by the wayside. Like, hey, nice to see you, nice to meet you. And then a couple of years later, like this Twitter account in Czechoslovakia, she's very popular. She's like, hey, let me see your Manchester United tattoos. So I took a picture of this and put it on there. She retweeted it. This guy that I had met a couple of years before saw it, hit me up, and goes,
What?
I met you in St. Augustine. And now we've become really good friends.
Damn, that's pretty cool.
And he has season tickets to see Manchester United. He's given us tickets. We've hung out
Oh,
with him.
shit.
Yeah, it's really
Wow.
like brought the world that much smaller, so that
That's
much closer. So
pretty fucking
yeah.
cool. Chris Scalzi. Do you know Chris Scalzi?
No.
Narnar Bink. He's a huge soccer fan. All he does is post about politics and soccer. I don't
Yeah.
understand any of it.
Right.
But he'll post about soccer players like cheering, and I'm like, good job, man. Like, I don't know.
I don't know what
it
you're
could be
talking
fucking
about.
like golf. I don't know,
Right.
anything about that.
If I hadn't been watching Ted Lasso,
Oh,
like
yeah.
that kind of, I think, is bringing back a little bit of why I used to play, but now it's like, man, maybe I don't get it why so many people like watching it so much.
Would you?
but-
Yeah. How old were you when you got into soccer? Did you play it?
I
or-
was born in England, born in Manchester.
okay. Okay,
All my
yeah.
family's from Manchester, and we moved here when I was 8 years old.
Okay.
So not old enough to have any kind of accent, but
Sure.
like all my sister lives in London now, and like uncles,
Oh, that's awesome.
grannies, all sorts of relatives live all over the UK. So we're actually moving back in like 4 years. Heather and I,
Really?
yeah. And
Excuse me?
yes. And
You should have seen Colin's
We're-
face.
Yeah,
I gotta go find
saw
Heather.
it.
so that's how I've just always been a fan of it. So
Okay.
yeah.
I was born in Manchester, too.
Nope.
New Hampshire.
Yes.
Hey.
Fist bump.
Hey. I didn't have my New England accent. I don't have that now.
So both of you guys have young daughters, and you just had your daughter go to her first dance, and you kind of messed with her a little bit.
Yeah, with a group of friends. She was like, I checked it out. She was going with a group of friends. But she's, she's a smart kid, But, yeah, so it's been going on. We got her dressed, got everything, and then Saturday was a dance, and Saturday morning I woke up, I was making breakfast, and I was like, today's the day. And she's like, yeah, I'm so excited. I can't wait. And school's almost out. And you just tell. I was like, well, listen, I wanted to wait to tell you today. Like, I'm chaperoning, and I love you. Me and Joe used to be on it, like, we're going to chaperone the podcast. Or
And she was upset.
chaperone the dance. Oh, she started.
What, is it because Joe was going?
No, because I was going.
Oh.
And then I mentioned, listen.
But you're cool, right? You're cool to all ages. No.
No, I'm a dad.
All right.
No.
Fair enough.
I try to be.
But it's weird because, like, you are one of the cooler dads. Like, she should be happy that you're her dad, but to,
her
to everyone
friends
else,
love
it's like
me,
you're
too.
still mortifying, right? Like, oh my God.
She'll FaceTime with her friends. I just snatch the phone and go, hey, how you doing? What are you doing? They just talk to me. Like,
Richard,
I think I'm a cool dad.
you are.
Not in her eyes.
We all think we're cool.
yeah.
To be honest with you, it's not good.
Yeah, your kids don't say you're cool, but I think you're awesome. Did you ever
you.
pull pranks on them?
Oh God. It's a list. They're 21 and 23 now, so they both graduated college.
Yeah.
But they'll tell all their friends, like, oh, it's just been a litany of nightmares their whole life of, I did the old school saran wrap the toilet, and then they peed on it, got all
you did
over
the
them. I
classics.
did the bucket of water on
the door.
the door. Emma, my youngest one, saw it, scooched by it, and then waited for her sister Sam, who's just a wrecking ball.
Oh, that's it.
And it
Awesome.
came out on her. Locked him outside. Just a variety of. I have a text conversation with him called "Connecting with the Kids," and it's just me, dad joking them nonstop.
Yeah.
Now they just don't even trust me anymore. So
Yeah.
it's degraded to.
Yeah, I do the dad jokes all the time. She's not a fan. She hates it.
They actually, you got her with the water bucket.
Yeah, yeah.
You're
Right on
willing to
Sam's
like
head.
clean that up afterwards. Like that's the one, and the pee on the thing. It's like,
Oh, it's
See, I do
horrific.
more like it's embarrassing stuff. Like I'll play Slayer and Car Loop and pick them up. Maybe I should start going to the pranks more.
Pranks are good, man.
Yeah.
An unintentional prank that I had, I used to have a Jeep and I had the top off, and they were going to Imperial Estates, the elementary school here in town. And I took them, and it was an especially humid day. And by the time we get drop them off, I turn around, I'm like, all right, guys. Their hair is like, shot to shit. And so I'm like, oh my God. And they're screaming that their hair looks insane. And as I had to drive to like the Cumberland or the BP around the corner and buy a comb set and try to comb their
Are you
messed up.
serious?
Oh yeah, it was bad.
What were the ages?
They
Elementary
were
school, huh?
Yeah, they were like probably 9 and 11. It wasn't good.
That's so great.
oh my God.
It's fun. It's really fun. But, I do it to my son too. I mess with my son all the time too.
You have to. It's
Yeah.
the
Oh, I got
motto-
pranked,
I've
so-
told the kids, they'll repeat if you ask, what is dad saying? The only good reason to have kids is to make fun of them.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so they'll repeat that now.
My dad told me it was to mow the grass. It's like I'd mow the grass and be like, it's the only reason why I had you, son. It's like, no, I love you, Dad.
It's like you got to have some kind of like relationship like that with your kids. I've noticed like with my dad, we're like that too, where you joke around and stuff. Like, you're serious when you need to be, but you also know that like when you see the playful side, I feel like it's easier to like come to them with, different situations because it's like
Sure.
you see the whole
Right.
spectrum of everything. But yeah, you got to laugh, man. And you're like one of the funniest people I know.
Their mom is very serious. She's on the serious
Yeah.
side, and me, like, it was a couple of years ago. Sam was like wishing me happy birthday or something, and she's like on Instagram, she's like, to the funniest person I know, you never take life too seriously, and you gave me my great music taste. I love you, blah blah blah. So I'm like, hey, if that's all I get to impart to the kids, then
Dude, that's what I love. I love that is passing on the music.
Yes.
Like Ava has a record player, and I buy her albums all the time. She started with the ones she liked, and then I got her. I buy her all the Beatles. I got her like 4 Beatles, Revolver, Led Zeppelin 2. She's never heard it, the Beatles she has, but like Led Zeppelin, I was like, listen to this
Right.
album.
It's fantastic.
Yellow Brick Road, the Wall, albums like that. And now she's into Nirvana. Like they're having that second coming of Nirvana,
Yeah.
Which when Nirvana was coming up, I was into other stuff.
Right.
But I got it. And now that I'm older, I was like, okay, they're great. Like they're really good. But it's so funny, Dad. Have you heard Nirvana? I'm like, oh, baby.
no. Tell me about this band.
Give me a song.
Did you know that Richard was in a Green Day video?
Were you really?
I was. So I went to Woodstock 94, the 25th anniversary.
Yep.
I'm not old enough to be at the first one.
Yeah, tossing the mud.
Yeah, it's not the non-violence and non-rapey one that happened 5 years later.
Sure.
Yeah. So I was I got home. I was in the Army at the time, and I came home on leave after Woodstock was all said and done. And I remember watching MTV, and they were showing highlights of Woodstock '94. So the Green Day official concert video they put out was the song "When I Come Around" off the Dookie album. And I remember sitting there watching it. I was like, "Oh yeah, I was there," and I'm like, "This is so cool." And I'm like, "Oh, that's me." And I was in a mud pit.
Yeah.
And I'm kicking mud on this girl. And then about a minute later, I'm at the top of this mud hill in a shopping cart. And it looks like I wave to the camera, but I have no idea it's there, because it's far off.
No.
And I wave to the camera, and then everybody, because we were just taking turns running down this massive mud hill, and I'm rolling down the mud hill in the shopping cart, and then flip over and slide into the mud. And so
that's so great.
I remember telling my daughters about it, years later, and they were like, "My dad was in a Green Day video. You got to look this up." And it's so old that it's pixelated. You can't really kind of tell. I don't know if it's my eyes have gone or it's the photo of the video quality.
Probably both.
Right. But it's like if I had a dime for every pixel in this video, I'd have 5 cents. So.
That's pretty awesome. That was a great the mud day. That was a whole day of mud.
So it was awesome.
I remember seeing Primus. I was watching it live playing "My Name Is Mud," and he's like, "Don't take it literally."
Oh man, that was crazy. I was in the pit for that. It's funny because I was up front for the Green Day concert, but the way they filmed that video, it showed us way off on this mud hill. And then Red Hot Chili Peppers closed it out. Peter Gabriel.
Yeah, I was gonna say, who else is there?
Oh my God.
Oh, Peter Gabriel played.
Yeah, he closed. I think. Peter Gabriel. It was a 3-day concert, and it was.
You were there all 3 days?
Oh yeah. I mean, I was 23 at the time.
Yeah.
So now, if I
Can't
did
do that
that,
now.
I'd be in the
Yeah,
hospital. But yeah, we were walking away, and they were playing "In Your Eyes," this famous song. And I remember we were all shedding a tear. It was me and my buddy in the Army, and his younger brother. And I'm like, "Oh, this is the best weekend of my life."
Now, do you still get nostalgic when you hear that song, though?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely.
I love Cranberries, James, Green Day. I think 9 Inch Nails for sure.
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah,
Okay, we're seeing them in a couple weeks.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
They replaced Foo Fighters.
Oh, that's right.
right.
In Rockville.
Nice.
Rockville will be the first festival type concert. I mean, we're only going to the one day that I've been to in a long time.
God,
since the Foo Fighters in Atlanta.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good bands on that. But see, I swear to God, they find out what I want to see, and they put them all on different days.
Yep.
They separate them. The one you're going to, Jane's Addiction.
It's the best one. I'm excited for that, for sure.
Jane's Addiction.
Smashing Pumpkins.
And Nine Inch
Which I
Nails.
check out. Yeah, 9 Inch Nails and Jane's Addiction is going to be fucking great.
And there's some good bands early in the day, too.
Is there? I know there's a day where there's New York hardcore. There's a Sick of It All, Gnostic Front, but then they put them on different days in Guns N' Roses. Because I'd love to see Guns N' Roses. I'd fucking love to see Guns N' Roses live.
They were supposed to be incredible the last time they came around.
Yeah, that's what my buddy said.
Steven
Really?
went and saw him. He said he was amazing.
Yeah, I see Axel's killing it. He looks like the old lady from the Goonies,
Yeah.
but
Well, Dave Grohl let Axl borrow his throne from when he got hurt and he was playing the concert still.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I'm just wondering what's going to happen with this festival because there's bands all that know Taylor Hawkins, and I
there's
know
gonna
that
be
they're going to be doing tributes and
all day.
Yeah.
I don't.
All
man,
day.
You're going to be shedding a tear or
Oh,
two
I'll be
there.
crying the whole time.
Yeah.
We'll pull up because the only reason where we're going is to see them. And
Right.
even when I tore off my calendar for the month of May, the only thing written was Foo Fighters on that day, and I was like, fuck, what?
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's tragic. I don't know what the state of that band's going to be going
That's what
forward.
and Dave Grohl has that nobody's put anything they're just
Yeah, I just think
which
that
he needs to be.
him and Taylor were too
give
so close.
give that dude his space.
I don't know
but
how
they were
you
out last
play
weekend.
and then look back and see somebody else playing drums. I don't know how
The
that
only
would
way
go
it's going to
over.
work is I feel like is if they have a guest drummer,
Right.
just fill in,
Yeah,
throw in
if
Travis
you get
Barker
somebody
or
big,
somebody
somebody like Stephen Perkins.
But-
Stephen Perkins, Jane's Addiction, Suicidal Tendencies, and all that. You'd have to get a heavy hitter.
Well, Brent was telling me that the Foo Fighters, Dave Grohl, Taylor's wife, and a bunch of the other Foo Fighters were at Preservation Hall and at the show that the Foo Fighters were supposed to do. They were there in the wings and stuff, and Taylor's wife was wants them to go
carry
on.
on.
But whether that'll happen or not, I mean,
I don't think Blink is touring. I could see Travis Barker
Isn't he on
stepping in.
He's on a fucking reality show now.
He
isn't
is, but still, he's
he
a
would do
musician.
it because he loves him.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
and that's the
He
thing.
got a
Everybody
tattoo.
respected
He's
him.
a bad.
Yeah.
He's a bad bitch. But Travis Barker's an amazing drummer.
Chad Smith is Taylor is Chad Smith's kid's
Kid's
godfather.
Godfather,
So you got
yeah.
him too, but that's the only way I can see it going for now. But then that means when they make new music, they just have a touring
Session,
drummer and
or a studio drummer,
Dave
and
can
then
do the drums in studio.
for
and
sure.
Then,
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. He would definitely do the drums on the recording
and
and
just
everything.
take somebody on a tour.
I don't know. Those are I try to put best case scenarios of how I could even go to another Foo Fighters show and not
Right.
think about the fact that it's still not ever.
You
gonna be
could.
but-
You could.
I will,
Time
but
heals all. But see, this is the thing is I feel like Dave Grohl, he has such a gangster fucking support system. Him and Paul McCartney are best friends.
Yeah.
And Paul McCartney's lost, everything. But he's got.
he used to be a good guy.
Yeah.
And plus, he's an older dude. When you have some tragedy like that happen, when you're older, you tend to be able to hold it a little better.
My favorite band of all time is this band out of Scotland, Frightened Rabbit. They're like an indie band.
Yep.
They were just kind of starting to get big. I think their 5th album. Over there they were. And then the lead singer put out a tweet saying, "I'm away now, thanks." And I was like, oh my God. He battled depression his whole life and he ended up killing himself.
Jesus
3 days
Christ.
later. That was 4 years ago. And the band is just, obviously he was the lead singer and the songwriter, and his brother was in the band and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's a situation where you're just not going to be able to recover from something like that. But I think the Foo Fighters, it's going to take time. But I think it's exactly what you said, Colleen, about having a studio musician and then guest drummer on
a
tour.
touring drummer.
Yeah.
Which they're out there. And
Yeah, there's plenty of people that would step in.
So many.
listen, Dave Grohl has made albums with literally everybody. So
Yeah.
finding a drummer is not going to be a problem. I think living up to Dave Grohl's standards could be a problem because he's Taylor Hawkins is a bad dude, man. So we'll see, man.
I remember seeing Weezer and Foo Fighters in Tampa. I went to that concert, and Rivers Cuomo played drums for the Foo Fighters, and then
No
Dave
shit.
Grohl played drums for Weezer in one of the
No
songs. Yeah, it was
way.
amazing.
Yeah, that's pretty
I was like,
cool.
wow,
Oh
that's
my
pretty awesome.
God.
So,
Isn't it cool when things like that happen? You're at a
Yeah.
show, you're like, this is actually a big
Yep.
deal. Like when something goes down, you're like, I'll remember, I was at the show.
Oh
and,
my God! When they got Chris Shefflett, is it Shefflett?
Shefflett.
When they got him in the band, I seen No Use for a Name when he toured with them at the back when it was Sapphire Supper Club in Melbourne.
Yeah.
They're in the
that was a great venue.
Oh my God, it was so good. And in Melbourne, in the center of where the concert is, there's a huge pole. So there'd be a pit, people run around the pole. But he was in No Use for a Name. I drank beers with him, and then I was like, and I didn't even know, when I saw him, I started reading the story about how Dave Grohl found him in No Use for a Name, and I was like, oh shit, well, look at that. I hung out with him in Melbourne. But it's so cool.
Yeah.
And I love that about Dave Grohl. He pulls from these obscure, the Germs with, what's his name, the other guy that's in it. It's an older
Pat.
one. Pat Smear.
Pat
Pat
Smear?
Schmear.
When I came down on leave from the Army, and I had seen Marilyn Manson when he had just released his first album up there.
Yep.
And he opened for Nine Inch Nails at the Spectrum in Philly. And then he was on tour by himself down here, so he's doing much smaller venues. And he was playing at the down in Melbourne.
Was he with Genitortures?
Yeah, no, he was with that crazy Japanese thrash band, Melt Banana.
Melt Banana.
All the
Yep.
all-female
I
band.
I saw Melt Banana with Tool.
Oh, my
Tool brought them on.
We
Yeah.
went to that show, and like he lit a lunchbox on fire.
Yeah.
Was like swinging the mic on the cord and everything,
Yeah.
and like hitting people. And then Mike Hoffman, we threw Mike up on stage when Melt Banana was up there, and it's like these little tiny Japanese girls just kicking his head in. Oh yeah, they were getting him good.
so
It
great.
was hilarious. So.
You know it's a bad day when you're kicked to sleep by Japanese.
Oh
little
yeah, and,
young
and he's
Japanese girls.
screaming, trying to like crawl back into the crowd.
I miss live shows.
We got
Me
tickets to see Bowling for Soup and Less Than Jake at House of Blues coming up.
Nice.
But we, so the last concert I saw before the pandemic
the horns.
was Real Big Fish and Less Than Jake. Or not Less Than Jake, Bowling for Soup. And I was like, I'm too old because I'm at the House of Blues. We used to go to shows there all the time, and it was never, people being around me was not an issue. And all of a sudden I realized, I'm like, if I'm not in the pit, then I'm
Right.
standing in a walkway, and everyone's constantly trying to walk by. I
Yeah.
was so irritated. So I'm like, I'm never going to another show here unless I'm sitting up in that balcony.
Another Loge.
Yes. So when that concert got, announced, Brent just got his balcony tickets. I'm
Nice.
like,
Yeah, that's the
Thank
way.
God.
That's the way to do it. See, I went and saw Mastodon and Eagles of Death Metal, and I got center top Hard Rock Live, front row, center up high, and 3 songs into Mastodon, I ran down the pit.
Hard Rock Live is
and
way
then
better than House of Blues.
Never
man.
been to Hard Rock Live
What?
ever. Never seen a show.
It's a really good venue.
It's like the stage, or the
but you got to get
goes down or whatever.
You got to get
Be
the
up front.
get the balcony seats and just hang out. Yeah,
You-
because we
you
just
ran down
And you get a
anyways.
server.
yeah we did. Me and Brian
Those
Lingren.
tickets ain't cheap.
Brian
You need
Lingren's
that.
on the other side of the balcony, and I get a text going, "Let's go." And I was
Oh my
like, "Fuck
God.
it."
Do you
and then I
you
went
don't
down-
get a mosh pits now, Richard, do you, or anything?
So
I went down there for 3 minutes and almost died.
the last mosh pit I went into, we went to see Flogging Molly and Frank Turner open for him, and it was amazing. So
They
Flogging Molly,
just came too.
yeah,
We just saw
yeah, they
it.
always come around in
Well,
March.
we
Yeah.
just saw me and Scott.
You were
and
there
Brent.
last year.
Oh, that's right.
We went.
That's right.
Yeah. And our friend, my wife's friend Nella, wanted to go down in the pit.
Sure.
You know? And so it's jam packed. And I'm pounding beers, and I'm like, hey, let's go, come with me. So everybody else was like up top. So she followed me in, and as we're going in, I start screaming at the top of my head. I'm like, woo, like Ric Flair.
Yeah.
And I was pouring the beer on my own head. And so people were like,
People
what
just
the
move
fuck's
out of the
wrong
way.
with this
Yeah,
guy?
yeah, yeah.
This guy.
And I
So
literally
smart.
plowed straight in the front. I'm
That's
like,
so
yeah!
smart.
So
God, that's smart.
it's not smart.
You got to the front.
It's true.
Before we recorded this, I saw Charlie at the Real Big Fish was playing out of the port, and I'd seen you guys in the VIP bathroom area.
Yeah.
And you're like, I'm not going to get in the pit, blah, blah, blah. Real Big Fish comes on. It's like 1 or 2 songs, and there's Charlie.
Circle back, circle back. Yeah. Yeah, it's one of those things. Man. But see, like, I just went Agent Orange. I just went and saw Agent Orange in Melbourne, and it was a small venue, bunch of old. We're all old, and as soon as the music goes, it's like, here we go.
It's difficult.
Here
to
we
not-
go.
I mean, I'm 51.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're going to. We got tickets in June at House of Blues for Frank Turner, who's
Yeah.
amazing,
Yeah.
like English punk rocker. The Bronx and Bouncing Souls.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
The
so-
Bouncing Souls?
Yeah, so they're all 3 going to be there, and
There's still tickets?
oh yeah, and we're all. So we were going to buy loge seats, but our daughter is going, and we're like, nah, we'll just go down in the front with her. So
Oh my God. The Bouncing Souls are
Yeah.
like one of my
Yeah.
favorite.
somebody else on that bill that's really, really good.
The
but
Bronx is good,
The
too.
Bronx is amazing. So the Bronx, they're a hardcore punk band
I've
out
never
of New
heard
York.
of them. Okay.
Like really
Yeah,
hardcore
they're
punk.
good.
Tattoos and everything, like the whole 9 yards. So they have an alter ego called Mariachi El Bronx.
Yeah.
And every other album, they put out a mariachi album, but it's completely authentic mariachi music, and they dress in
It's
the mariachi
so good.
clothes, and like they'll go out on tour playing mariachi music, no punk, just
People show up for that?
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
it's
They
huge.
go deep.
Yeah, they've got a big support,
Yep.
but we're seeing them on the punk side. So last time I saw Frank Turner was Gogol Bordello was opening
Yeah.
for him. It was amazing.
Yeah, Frank always.
God, wearing purple.
Wearing purple, la 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 la.
Jim Marchese introduced me to them.
Yeah, he went. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's different because like with Teresa, like she loves country. So we went to Chris Stapleton, and I was like, "This is how concerts are supposed to be." Like everybody's all nice and like his. I mean, and it was great. I will say that fucking dude is more blues orientated
Yeah,
than country. He's
for sure.
He was unbelievable. Actually, Sheryl Crow opened up for him.
She opened up for him?
She was.
I mean, I
so
get it because
good.
they're both like, but
Yeah.
that's Sheryl
She was
Crow.
so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was amazing too.
My brother was a big country and western fan, and
Yep.
he had a big problem with Chris Stapleton, and I couldn't understand it. He said, "I don't believe him," and I was like, "What do you mean you don't believe him?" He's like, "I don't believe that he's a thing."
No,
He's like, this
right.
guy pops up out of nowhere, and he's written for everybody. He's
just-
written every
yeah,
hit.
He writes all the hits.
He's like, and now he's
Oh, I
winning
didn't-
Grammys.
I didn't know that. He
oh
wrote,
yeah.
Oh man, he
He
wrote.
writes for everybody.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And
It just has
kind.
own
pretty
stuff.
much every song he makes,
Yep.
his wife does backing vocals. So his wife goes on tour with him. His family goes on tour, and like she would play him, I'd be like, well, I don't like country, but this fucking like he's got like a blues sound
Yeah.
to him, and I was like, well, that's he's not same thing. This isn't a thing. Like,
He's written for Toby Keith. He's written for pretty much Kenny
Yeah.
Chesney, every giant country
I was like,
artist.
he's not that good. I want to see him live and see. Yeah, he's that good.
Yeah,
he's that
he's
good.
pretty darn good.
His voice is unfucking believable.
When are we going to talk about Richard's favorite musician, Miss Taylor Swift?
Oh,
Oh, I love Taylor
I am
Swift.
a Swiftie.
He is a big time.
Are you
Swift.
really?
Oh yeah,
Big
Love
time.
Taylor Swift.
Jesus. She got me into her.
Yeah, she's amazing. We took Heather and I took our daughters to her Tampa show on the Reputation tour. I don't want to say that I took them, but they pretty much went with me, and it was absolutely amazing. That was Jamie and Coral went with us too. And
Don't you
yeah.
love like like the Taylor Swift thing? Like with my kids, it's like collectible toys. Like I love
Yeah.
vintage toys and stuff.
For sure.
And I purposely get my son and daughter involved in it, so I can be like, let's go look for vintage
Right.
toys. I'll be like, listen,
You're really gonna like this.
I was like, listen, the kids are gonna. I mean, they want it, and then I just put it away.
Yeah.
I feel like that's how you are with Taylor
It
Swift.
works because his kids love music. Like when
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
when I
that's
first
awesome.
talked to Sam and she's like talking to me about like Weezer and all these bands. I'm like, wait a minute, what?
So
Their favorite
cool.
bands are like the Smiths, Secure,
Oh.
like all these,
Yeah.
80s,
See,
alternative
Ava's now the Nirvana thing, but she's starting to do the Depeche Mode thing
Right.
now. Like,
quality
you
music.
got to ease her into certain things, man. But
I
That-
hate this freaking song that's playing right now at Hardware.
what is it?
It said, "Hey there, Georgie boy, Dylan, you hear this song? God damn
Turn it up, Dylan.
It doesn't matter where, guys. Okay, so we're at Hardware. Something happened to our playlist. We used to have a playlist that went through like 400 something songs. You never heard that?
367 of them were fucking Foo Fighters.
Yes, but something happened where it reverted back to the old playlist. It only has like 40 songs. So I hear the same songs every single shift, but it doesn't matter where I'm at or what I'm doing. I hear this song, Georgie Boy, when it comes on. Immediate irritation.
What about the Halloween music playlist that Ron had? You'd walk into the back of Bricks and it'd be like, and I'm like, what are you listening to? Or like that stuff that's in like old murder, and I'm
Yes,
like, and I'm like, what is going on here?
that's how I feel about this song. And it's like, I haven't heard it in so long. It was last time was when Jim Barchese was working here, and he used to
Right.
send me links to this song, but I wouldn't know. And I click on a link, and it would just, hey there, Georgie Boy.
Yeah,
Who
it's
is
not
it?
good.
I don't know, man. It's an old song, but I hear it like 5 times this shift now. It's like, oh my God. Sorry.
I hope
can-
the Foo Fighters cover that song.
That's actually where they're going to get their next
Oh
drummers
my
from that band.
God.
Jim Boy.
The new drummer's going to be from that band.
It's what's weird. I don't know if it's like this for you guys. Maybe for you, for sure, Richard, because you like music so much. But you'll be there'll be music in the background, and you'll just hear one note. Like you'll be talking to somebody, not even realize music is playing. But if a certain song comes on,
yeah.
you will instantly be like, "That's how it is for that song
Right.
that just came on."
Yeah.
Like,
My wake up, my alarm on my phone is Wildest Dreams by Taylor Swift. It's my favorite song she's ever done. So every morning it wakes up.
I'm listening to that. I'm going to listen to that on the way home.
Oh, it's so amazing. And the video, oof, she
This
looks
is
beautiful.
so great. A 50-year-old man
She is.
that loves
It's not even-
soccer
okay.
and punk rock.
I'm not going to lie.
It's so good.
I'm going to tell you something. This is, Heather knows this, or I've knows this. So I had a dream one night
Oh, shit.
that I met Taylor Swift, that she was in, like, she showed up to Bricks early for her friends. And then, and Heather and I were married and everything, but I met her, and then she's like, man, who's that cool UPS driver? You know, the guy in his late 40s.
Did you have the shorts on?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Did you have the shorts on?
No, yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. But nothing like that. But she's like, hey, he seems really cool. So we legitimately became best friends. Nothing weird, nothing sexual.
Yeah.
But best friends.
Like you went and got ice cream.
Oh,
You
yeah.
went to
And
the
then,
park.
like, no, she's like, hey, so I'm going to send the plane for you this weekend. We're going to go, to Brazil. And, I'm like, all right, yeah, I'll go. And then we're hanging out. And then, like, TMZ is like, why is she hanging out with this 50-year-old UPS driver? That's odd.
Sounds like
They're
a
best
plot to a
friends.
movie.
Yeah. And we have, like, matching, she bought me a
that's
necklace.
so
and I
great.
get the same. So it was legitimate. It seemed so real. And I was so mad when my alarm went off. And I was
Yeah.
like, well, there it is. I can't believe I said that on a recording.
No, you did.
That's unfortunate. Hopefully this thing's not
yeah,
recording.
about to say, we'll see. This could all be wasted.
Right.
I doubt it because Brent's so much better than Scott at this.
I'm sitting here doubting myself the whole time, just staring on it. I hope it's recording.
You're
Hey.
good, man.
I feel like we should just record straight through and take no break because we have a babysitter tonight. So.
Yeah, we can run it for however long you want. We got some content. We're good to go. Richard's carrying this fucking show.
I know.
Oh,
That's why I
God,
don't want
no.
him to leave because like Rachel Hallberg was supposed to be here. She's not here.
If you could give me, how about this,
She
Richard?
was late? That's weird.
Let's do this.
She's not even here at
Give me a
all.
lineup of 3 bands that you could see any space and time, anything. 3 bands that you could see live.
Like my
Take
top,
one show,
like
It's
a lineup.
tough.
Okay, yeah.
especially a
tough.
music
So is
fan.
this like ones that he hasn't seen?
No, just 3 bands.
Well, one of my favorite, Pink Floyd is one of my favorite. It's funny because when we had a tip jar at our reception, and one had Led Zeppelin, which is my wife's favorite band, and then
Yeah.
one had Pink Floyd.
Okay.
And hers won 2-1 easily. But
Did it really?
They're all uncultured people, so she's laughing.
Yeah.
Wow, top 3 bands. I mean, if we bring back like now, Frightened Rabbit was my favorite
Sure.
band. They're not around anymore. But now bands that are active, gosh, it would be Frank Turner for sure. He would be there. He'd probably be opening up.
Yeah.
Man, without a doubt, they got back together. Oasis and
Yes.
the Smiths.
Oasis and the
Yeah,
Smiths.
they're. I love.
Okay.
I love Morrissey's music. I don't love his crazy politics.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
insane.
Yeah.
And I love Oasis because, and I've gotten on Colleen about this before.
The brothers.
I think that Oasis were the last real rock band
It's
because
yeah.
bands don't get banned from airlines anymore or hotel chains.
Yeah, one of them brothers just brought that up. Said they're the last real rock band or something.
Which
shit
which
like
brother
that.
is the one that does not give a fuck?
Liam.
Liam.
Liam
Liam
Gallagher.
Gallagher.
Like,
Yeah.
oh my God, I remember Howard Stern interviewed him, and like he was going off on his brother. Like I couldn't believe he was just like, he's like,
Dude.
he's a celebrity ass kisser, blah blah blah. He couldn't sing, and he thought, well, I'm like, whoa, like they're probably really not gonna ever get back together. Like
You
they
need to
hate
listen.
each other.
You need to listen. There's a comedian called Chappelle. His name's Chappelle Lacey. Huge Oasis fan. He's an ex-professional cheerleader and listens to punk rock and hardcore. And,
All right.
he's a comedian.
Okay.
And he's on a podcast with Brian Callen. You know Brian Callen, the comedian. He was the gym coach on the Goldbergs.
Okay.
Yes.
Been in The Hangover and
Okay.
but he did a podcast with him. But now it's Chappelle's World. It's so funny. He's so good, man. But he ride and die for Oasis.
Yeah,
Like,
I love Oasis. So if you ever find yourself bored and you want to like go into a YouTube hole, search the best of Liam and Noel Gallagher, and it's just interviews from them. It's nothing to do with music.
Yeah.
They literally shit on everybody's
Yeah,
music.
they
like,
just smoke cigarettes and scream and
it's
yell at
so
people.
bad,
Yeah.
but it's so funny. Like, I can't. Yeah, I mean, there's so many different references, but yeah, Oasis. Like when they were towards like getting ready to break up, they played MTV Unplugged. They were supposed to play MTV Unplugged,
Yep.
and Liam, who was the lead singer, but he didn't write any of the music. His brother Noel wrote the music and was that real talent. And then it came out more that he was more of a talent because the songs that he wrote, like Master Plan and stuff like that, where
Yeah.
he would just sing himself, they were like, oh man, this guy is amazing. He plays guitar and he sings.
Okay.
And then Liam would just sit sulking in the background with a tambourine. He said that he had a sore throat and he couldn't perform for the MTV showing.
Yeah.
He sat in the balcony drinking champagne and giving the backwards V to his brother the entire show. It was fantastic.
Yeah, I remember that. I actually, now that you bring it up, I do remember that.
It's so crazy that they actually hate each other that
Yes.
much. Like he said that like he would wake his brother up and pee on him and stuff like.
But do you know, like, they would make all the money if they just put it together and went on tour.
Oh, no, for sure.
They will, though, huh?
I think so. I've always wanted the Smiths to get back together, but Johnny Marr and Morrissey hate each other so much, and Morrissey's such a jerk that I don't think that'll happen.
Yeah.
But I do think money is will be the presiding factor. If they go on tour, I don't think they could spend the amount of money that they would make from that tour.
Yeah.
It'd be huge.
I think that's what Guns N' Roses did. Guns N' Roses was like, fuck it. Chinese Democracy was a shit show.
Right.
Let's figure it out, get back. And they did. They made so much fucking money.
So
It was the biggest
we're waiting
tour.
on Liam then to get his to be completely broke because I think all the other guys in the band would be willing to do it
Yeah.
because he just seems like he's fucked up 24/7 all the time. Like he's always talking shit.
Yeah, for sure. He's got nothing good to say.
Yeah.
It's still continuing to this day, just being an
And
asshole.
see-
And they come from a very working class part of Manchester.
Yeah.
So they come from... In Manchester, my family is all on the red side. It's north of Ancoats. And then the south side is considered the blue side, Manchester City. They're Manchester City supporters. Goes back to football. But so when they were big, the band Blur was huge as well.
Sure.
And they were down in London. And then the lead singer left and started Gorillaz. And
Yep.
he was real famous.
I did not realize
Yeah.
that.
Yeah,
yeah.
lead singer of Blur.
What?
Yeah, they're
Okay.
super talented. But so they had a giant battle. There's a documentary on it.
I saw
the
it.
war
I
between
saw
like
it.
it's considered the north and the south of England.
Yeah.
Even though it's such a small island, the divide in that island is utterly ridiculous. You know, the Irish hate the English, the Welsh hate the English, the Scots don't like the Irish, Northern Irish at a certain point. But they all, you stick that island in the U.S. and it's just a very small part of it. But Oasis represented the working class in the north, and Blur represented the fancy, the posh side of the south.
The band Refused.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of Refused?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Are they from England?
I don't think so. No, I think it's one of those bands that sounds
Sweden?
like they should be from England.
Yeah.
There's a lot of.
Fucking good.
I mean, early Green Day, people thought they were from
Sure,
England. The way
Kerplunk
that Billy
and-
Joe,
yeah.
sang.
Yeah, he did, yeah.
And they're like,
Yeah.
wait a minute, they're from Chicago or no, San Francisco.
California, yeah,
San
San Fran.
Francisco.
Yeah, Lookout
So-
Records.
So the working class, they're probably just used to fighting each other and doing whatever, like being men.
They
But
grew up
Oasis
poor.
blew Blur out of the water. It wasn't a...
So that's funny.
What about over there? Was it different than here? Because like here, I just know the one Blur. Well, maybe like a couple.
Girls who
Yeah.
like boys. Who
Yeah.
like
Oh, yeah,
girls.
yeah, yeah.
So that one, and then
Yeah.
song 2. So I thought the same thing, but the documentary Blur that year actually destroyed Oasis in album sales,
Really?
and it never kicked into me that Oasis had lost that musical battle. But overall, yeah, obviously Oasis has a bigger
Sure.
catalog, but the lead singer, I can't remember the dude's name, but when he left, closed out,
Yeah.
yeah. Blur, he
Went on to the
done
Gorillas.
some amazing stuff. He's done some. He's gone on and done other, acts.
Has he really?
Yeah, projects as well. Yeah.
It's just so funny because I just think about like how upset the rest of the band must be like this fucking guy just
Yeah, I know.
won't
Oh, yeah.
grow up and do this because Brent and I talked when this happened with Taylor. I was like, there's only like one band I would actually be like, okay, I will be excited. I was trying to think who could replace them, and I was like, there's only one that would be amazing, and that'd be Oasis, and that's if they go back together. Nobody else is gonna replace them, and I'm gonna be like, yeah, you know. But
You see videos of their shows like at Wembley. They played 100,000 people like 4 nights in a row. Like
Who's that? Foo Fighters?
Oasis.
Oh,
You know,
did
just-
they really?
They're just absolutely massive. You know who's an interesting band to me that's big here in the States, but they're absolutely huge in the UK is the Killers.
Oh, the Killers.
The
Yep.
Killers-
They're from Vegas, aren't they?
They're from Vegas, yeah.
Yeah.
So the UK has adopted the Killers as their own. They play to giant crowds, and their album sales are through the roof. It's a very weird
Really?
dynamic how like bands and you
Catch
guys
on
do it
in
all the
different
time.
countries.
Yeah, they'll be like, this band's huge in England and they never
Yeah.
made it, you know, or we're big in Germany, you know.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
You know, but yeah.
I'm trying to think of a band like that, like in metal. I know Sepultura. Sepultura is from Brazil.
Well, you know, any metal band that goes to South America,
Is huge.
they're playing in front of 100,000 people.
I know.
You know.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Is that their music? Like they like that kind of music?
Oh,
Yeah,
they
like
love-
Gojira. You take Gojira down there. Oh my
Slayer goes down there. Anthrax, these
Yeah.
older metal bands.
Those are the only names I recognize. All the other ones, Charlie drops all the time. I'm like, no idea. No idea.
You better recognize Slayer and Anthrax.
Yes.
Anthrax is coming to concert. They're coming for their 30th anniversary of Among the Living. You want to go?
No.
30th?
Like,
Of that album.
I never
Maybe it might
liked
be
metal music.
40th.
I don't get it. Like, I don't get it. I always
Yeah,
wanted to be like,
see-
I want to like it, so I'm cool. But I'm like, no, I'm not there.
There
I
really
can't.
isn't a genre that I don't fuck with. I love it all. Like, I really do. No, that EDM.
EDM, yeah.
I can't do it.
My brother-in-law's a big EDM fan, which is odd because he looks like a British accountant.
Yeah.
But he's a big EDM fan.
It gets him
like-
through that number crunching.
Yeah.
It's like when you walk in the brewery and Ron's listening to it. You're like, what?
Yeah, I guess
I know.
EDM would be the one where I'd be like, I can't, I don't understand, I don't get it. But whatever. I try to, I don't know, spice of life, man. I like all different types.
Yeah, I think people that limit themselves on, like, I'm not a big fan of new country.
Same.
I think my
Yeah,
country
me
taste
too.
ended somewhere. My brother was a big, like, Toby Keith fan.
Yeah.
So it kind of ended with, like,
With,
Brooks
like-
and Dunn,
like
Toby
Garth
Keith,
Brooks and- yeah.
Garth Brooks, that. Anything after that, and I know that sounds very short-sighted.
No,
but
That's how I am.
Like
2
Heather-
years ago, I was the same way.
Yeah.
I really was.
But like all old, you know, like outlaw country. Is
Oh, yeah.
just
Johnny Cash.
obviously amazing
Merle
stuff.
Haggard,
Waylon, Willie.
Yeah.
My first concert was George Strait. My parents took me to
that's
it.
quality.
Him and Alan Jackson, like all the George Strait
Jesus.
festivals. Like I've seen all the big.
That's awesome.
Like, Tim McGraw before he was real big. Martina McBride. Like those were such cool concerts, and I was so young, I didn't really realize what I was
Yeah,
seeing at the
yeah.
time.
Right.
You know, but those were the first concerts I've ever went to.
My first, I was 7, and I saw Marshall Tucker Band. That was my first, that was a great show.
yeah.
First one I ever went to on my own was, I don't know, Pantera, White Zombie, I think.
That's a good one.
Yeah, it was a great show.
Brent, what about you? First show?
Oh, who was it again? I forget.
What was your first concert?
First concert ever.
You just saw them, I think.
Tool?
No. Who did you just see?
Please say it's
He was
Aha.
supposed to go to a concert.
Oh, Deftones?
Deftones. Thank
Yeah,
you.
nice.
I had to cancel.
That's a good one.
Was it really? That's
Yeah.
a good one.
Hard Rock Live.
Yeah, I was sure I was there.
And then I didn't go to a show for 6, 7, 8 years, and I saw 311 and somebody. Then I didn't go to any other shows. So I met Colleen.
I'll tell you one of the biggest shows was I saw the Ramones, Metallica, Rage Against the Machine, Soundgarden, and Screaming Trees
Jeez.
on the same day
Where
in
was
Soul Coffin. It was one. It was the year that Lollapalooza went metal. Yeah. Such a good song. But like everybody was like mad because Lollapalooza went metal, and it was because Metallica was headliner. But I'll never forget the Ramones. I had a guy earlier in the day be like, "Hey man, how old are you?" And I was like, "I'm 17." He was like, "Go see the fucking Ramones,"
That's awesome.
and he was right.
It's
I'll
like-
never forget that dude, man. I'll never forget it.
It's so cool when you actually are able to go to like when Warped Tour used to be awesome, and like you go to one show and see so many cool bands,
Right.
and now it's like you're just hoping for one or two in there that's good, but
Yep.
like
I hung out with Ice-T. Like literally drank Molson Ice with Ice-T on the bed of a pickup truck.
And now he's selling insurance.
I love it, dude. I love it.
Fast walking down the street
Yeah.
with old women. And I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
Ice-T, what's wrong with you?
Hey, but he's still a cop. Tutuola
That's true.
on Law and Order.
still married to Coco. Are they still together?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Like,
for
are
they?
life.
I think isn't
Yeah.
it weird? Like you look at them and you know that those two will make it.
Right.
Yeah, like
Oh, those crazy kids.
She
They're
They
gonna
can
be-
make it.
loves
Anybody
him.
can make it.
they're gonna be okay.
Yeah,
Like
they'll
that
be
show
fine.
is funny. Did you ever watch it?
No,
Ice Loves
I saw
Coco.
highlights of it. I'm like, this is something.
Yeah. She wears high heels all the time.
yeah.
I don't know how that's possible.
Yeah.
I don't get girls like that, like high maintenance. Like I'm so far from that
Right.
it's like, oh, I'm too lazy. Like you're lucky if I wash my hair more than twice a week.
Brent's over here like, yeah,
Yeah, well, he knew what he was getting into.
yeah, I get it.
God.
So you guys got a babysitter, huh?
Yeah, well, because Brent had to come because Scott.
Yeah, I'll say it again. So good.
Yeah, great sound
Just
engineer.
yeah, he's just
Well
great.
done, sir.
It's great. Do you want to go on a 9-minute tangent about NFTs and cryptocurrency?
Don't understand. Every time I listen to something about NFTs, I understand it less. I'm like, what? So I have the same picture of that gorilla, but you have it and it means more.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't.
And then
I don't
they'll explain
They'll
it to me,
start-
and I'm
yeah.
like,
It's worse.
yeah.
Like I still
get
don't know. Yeah.
I think you have to like mine them or something, right? And
I
then
don't-
you get
No, that's
you
cryptocurrency.
get credits, and then you buy the credits with the NFTs, and
Okay.
that's the way Scott explained it to me last week. I think.
Yeah.
Well, the
Yes,
way
sir.
the way Scott explained it to me was like, if I draw this picture and I sell it to you, it's a digital format copy. You have like a special frame hanging up, and only you have access to it. And then I lose my rights to it when I give it to you, and then you can resell, do whatever. I'm like, what?
But I can come over and take a picture with my
Right?
camera, and they'll be like,
I don't
guess
understand.
what?
But
I
you
have
know
this
the
gorilla.
best part about it is like I'll get there early. Hey Scott, shout out to you, Scott. I'll get there early and he'll go on an NFT thing, and he has no self-awareness that I don't give a fuck about anything he's saying. So I'll just be looking. I'll turn my back to him and look out and be like, "The yard looks good, man. You got a lot of plants out there. Got some fruit growing." He's like, "Yeah, NFT." I'm trying to pull the subject away from
Right.
him, but he won't do it.
Get Chris in the room with him. It's like me and Charlie over there going, these fucking two.
Yeah,
They're like,
these
oh,
guys.
blah, blah.
NASA. I just want to talk about fucking 90 Day Fiance.
Do you work at NASA, really? Take that, Chris.
Yeah, shout out to Chris too. I wish you could have been here, brother.
I know, right? I haven't seen him in so long because I missed last week, and I'm like, I
Yeah.
don't remember what he looks like.
I can't remember if it's him or Joe on the show.
Oh,
Oh, wow. I haven't seen Joe in ages. How's he doing?
Stupid as always.
Oh, well, that seems about
No,
right.
he's doing good. He just moved right off down here, that way.
everyone's
Just-
getting out of Port
he
St.
did
John.
he did the sell and buy like I'm doing. Yeah, same
Oh,
thing.
okay.
Same thing. We're twinsies. What are we saying? We're gonna wrap this up?
Yes, I'm so glad we got to talk music, man. Because like
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah.
the first time I went to Richard's house, and he puts on a Beastie Boys album, and I'm like, please play Get It Together. Like if they know Get It Together,
Yeah,
I'll
yeah,
be so
yeah.
happy. And then Heather singing it too. I'm like, oh my God, they know Q-Tip and Beastie Boys. Like these
So-
are my people.
God, that would have been a
about-
band I'd have liked to seen live, and I almost did. And I fucking
First
didn't go.
concerts, I think my wife wins. She saw Wu-Tang with Rage Against the Machine.
in Atari Teenage Riot. Open.
Probably,
Yep.
yeah.
Out West Palm.
Yeah, that's. I
Oh
think
my
it was
God.
the first show.
Was that West Palm?
Mine was Huey Lewis. I didn't go. Yeah, mine was Huey Lewis on the news.
That's fucking good
When
too.
was that? Like
That was
when they were
amazing.
big?
I was either on the sports tour.
He had all
It was
the
like
hits.
86
Yes.
or 87 or 4, the album 4.
Yeah.
But I still contend it was the loudest concert I've ever been to because I was right near the speakers, but I'm pretty sure I just blew my eardrums out that time, and then
Maybe.
it was never the same.
Huey Lewis that's a strong first one right there.
I immediately think of Back to the Future every time somebody brings him up. Like I think of
Just the 80s.
Marty McFly.
We got all their albums on vinyl. Yeah. I don't know if that's good or bad, so
A little bit of both.
yeah. That's fine.
He's got all Taylor Swift ones too, so he's
We
good.
do.
Yeah.
We do have the Taylors and different colored vinyl, so
Yeah, see,
Fantastic.
I want to get into the vinyl thing, but I know how I am with collectible shit,
Right.
and I'll have to get the different color and the a limited edition. I can't do it yet.
So we bought got in a crowdfunding thing, and this was 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And it's a vertical floating record player. So by this company out of Chicago.
What?
Called Gramavox, and it's belt driven, and the turntable doesn't sit flat; it sits upright, and you put your album up there, and then you screw it in, and you turn the volume up, and it spins vertically because their thing is like vinyl is artwork, so it needs to be seen, not just played.
Oh man!
Yeah, it's pretty fantastic.
Yeah, the different colored albums.
Yeah, we have a bunch of like, collectible vinyl, color vinyl, and stuff like that. Most of it's your standard black, but
yeah,
it's fantastic. We love it.
Well, that's cool. All right, so what are we doing?
Thank you, Richard, for talking
thanks
to
for
us.
having me.
Thanks for coming on.
I appreciate it. I hope I
Hey,
didn't
wait,
bore
real quick,
everybody.
your favorite play Linda beer?
Favorite play Linda beer? Man, I'm really enjoying the Nevins right now. But
All time.
Oh, Lemure for sure. Lemure is the best, yeah. And I wish Ron would make more of it, but I think he's like the anti-brewer. He's like, no, they love it so much, I'm just not going to make it.
You
It
are
doesn't make any
100%
sense.
correct.
Because
once you like it, he's like, nah.
yeah, he's like, no, you'll never.
He's
drink
punk
that
rock.
again.
He's punk rock.
He's more of a punk.
Yeah.
Take that, Ron. I love him.
All right, guys. Once again, shout out to Brent. Just the best.
Yep.
I've
job.
never dealt with this easy of a podcast. It's been unbelievable. He's a special man.
There's going to be
And
repercussions for this.
Thank you for bringing all the brisket and smoked queso and all the.
Oh, yeah,
it's
this
so
tastes
good.
so good.
Thank you. It's the best, man. And I'm glad you waited till tonight to bring it.
Thanks for waxing my truck too, man.
Yeah,
You didn't
man.
have to do
Yeah,
that.
anytime.
But just all around being a great human being. It's just fun to be around.
Let's do this again next week.
Yeah, please.
All right, cheers.
Bye.
Bye.
Daisy's in a tube top, screaming from the top of her lungs. This all ends tonight. Daddy's on the floor, he's screaming for more. I see you're gonna be alright. Daisy's in a tube top, screaming from the top of her lungs. This all ends tonight. Daddy's on the floor, he's screaming for more. I see you're gonna be alright.
Dude, that's just killer. Oh, dude, that was awesome.